What is going on, guys? The Adam Foley here. First of all, happy Rusev Day. Okay, this video today is a countdown of my top 15 WrestleMania moments of all time. Some of you may agree with it, some of you may not agree with it. I guess we'll see what goes on. And don't forget to hit that like button. Leave a comment on what you think some of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history are, and don't forget to subscribe. For those of you that do stay with me, I appreciate that, and watch my videos. I do appreciate that. I do this for you. I'm just trying to improve something for me to do. So let's get down to it, shall we? Okie dokie. Hey guys, so kicking off at number 15, we have Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. Now, up to this point, Andre had been decimating anyone and everyone in the WWF/WWF, and no one thought it was possible for Hogan to do this. I always remember that scene at the end where, after Andre loses, riding off on that cart with Bobby the Brain Heenan, and it was one of those moments. Obviously, I wasn't born when that happened, but rewatching it, it was like, wow. So that kicks off at number 15. Coming in at 14, we have Shawn Michaels finally facing off against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 21. Now, this was a match that not many people thought would happen. Two of the greatest in-ring competitors ever in WWE finally facing off on the grandest stage of them all in a cross-promotion match. This one is Raw versus SmackDown in this one match. And this match was crazy. You had the Olympic gold medalists taking on Mr. WrestleMania, and the Olympic gold medalist came out on top. Okay guys, next up at number 13 we have Hulk Hogan taking on the Ultimate Warrior from WrestleMania 6. This is the first time a lot of people didn't know who to cheer for. You had Hogan, who was the biggest face in the company at the time, against Warrior, who was coming up in his own, and everyone loved him. And it was one of those ones where, who do you vote for? Who do you want to win? Who do you think can do it? And obviously we know Warrior beats Hogan and becomes WWF Intercontinental and WWF Heavyweight Champion. Great match from WrestleMania 6. Up at number 12, we have something that we didn't think was actually going to happen, but it did. It was finally time for Owen versus Bret at WrestleMania 10. Bret said he would never face his brother. Obviously, push come to shove, and they finally faced off. But it was one of those moments we didn't know if it was actually going to happen. And also, we knew that later that night, that Bret would be challenging Yokozuna for the WWF title. Missing out on a top 10 place was something that happened at last year's WrestleMania, and that is the return of the Hardy Boys. Now, there was a lot of speculation leading up to Mania that they could be returning to WWE and possibly taking part in the ladder match for the tag team titles on Raw. Now, they kind of threw a spanner in the works because the night before they appeared at Ring of Honor. They appeared at Ring of Honor the night before, taking on the Young Bucks for the ROH titles. Obviously, they lost. Next thing that day, we hear that the Hardys are having a little party, a little WrestleMania weekend party. Somehow they managed to get their asses all the way over to the stadium and come out a surprise entrance, and that was fucking amazing. I never forget my reaction to that. Unbelievable. Next up at number 10, it also involves the Hardys, and that was the moment where Edge was on top of the ladder at WrestleMania 17, and he spears Jeff Hardy, who is hanging onto the titles above the ring. That moment, oh my god, how iconic. Obviously, Edge did come out and say that he did whack his head on the ring apron after hitting that spear, but that moment will always be shown due to the fact that these guys were so innovative and doing these ladder matches. Teams like the Hardys, Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, and they have set the bar for people nowadays like the Young Bucks and teams of that nature like Penta, Kalisto. All these guys now have to emulate what those people done. Up at number 9, we have the end of the Triple H Undertaker match with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee at WrestleMania 27. Now, the image of the three of them standing at the top of the ramp, looking out of the crowd, will always be up there as one of the pictures in WWE history. Those three guys, they were fucking rocking it in the 90s, rocking it into the 2000s, and then finally at WrestleMania 27, they had that match, the last outlaw, as they so called it, and that was absolutely crazy. And it was one of those moments where you look at it and it's like, unbelievable. Those three guys were my childhood, and it was a great match, and I did shed a tear at that moment. Next up at number 8, we have the moment where Edge speared Mick Foley from the ring apron onto a flaming table from WrestleMania 22. That was unbelievable. He was goading Mick to become this hardcore legend again, and in the end, Edge hit Foley with that spear through the ropes onto that burning table, and it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I remember seeing it, and then a couple of days later my grandparents came up and I was rewatching that match on Skybox Office, and my granddad came in at the point where Edge was running the ropes and he hit Foley with that spear, and my granddad was like, oh fuck, bet that hurt. Next up at number 7, we have Stone Cold beating Shawn Michaels for the WWF title, the infamous Mike Tyson moment where Mike's there in the DX top, screws Shawn, knocks him out, Stone Cold gets the pin, 1, 2, 3. Beginning of the Attitude Era was born that night at WrestleMania 14. Next up at number 6, we have a moment we never thought was going to happen, and that was Icon versus Icon at WrestleMania 18, and that's The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. Unbelievable. Not many people thought it was going to happen. Then Vince brings in the NWO a month beforehand, and it's set then. Hogan versus The Rock. Two icons. The guy who was the 80s people, the guy who was the 90s people in The Rock, finally facing off one-on-one. Great moment, and something that I would always remember. Next up, making it into the top 5, we have WrestleMania 31, and it was the Brock and Roman match, and suddenly all you hear is Seth's coming out to cash in. Unbelievable. It had never been done before. No one had held it until Mania and actually cashed in at Mania, and obviously Rollins pins Roman, gets the 1, 2, 3, and comes out WWE champion. Unbelievable. Coming in at number 4, we have the Shawn Michaels finally winning the title at WrestleMania 12 after a grueling 60-minute plus Iron Man match with Bret Hart. Unbelievable. I've rewatched that match countless times. Unbelievable. Perfection personified. That moment at the end, Shawn just sitting there in the ring with the belt, and then you get the famous line, boyhood dream comes true for Shawn Michaels. And it was. Next up at number 3, we have Shawn Michaels yet again, and Taker won WrestleMania 25. That moment was unbelievable. The whole entrance gimmick with that was amazing. You had Shawn coming down as a descendant from heaven, and then you had Taker coming up from underneath the ramp like he's coming from hell. That just brilliant. And the match, well, when I do a top 15 or whatever WrestleMania matches, you will see where that comes. Okay, just missing out on the top spot. Might be a bit controversial, but don't forget guys, this is just my opinion, but it's Chris Benoit winning the title finally at WrestleMania 20 in a triple threat match against Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Now, obviously, what that guy has done is non-excusable, but the guy was a brilliant in-ring performer. You cannot deny that. And finally capturing the biggest title you possibly can on the grandest stage, in the grandest of venues, Madison Square Garden, WrestleMania 20. Finally getting your hands on that World Heavyweight Championship. And I'll never forget the image of him and Eddie at the end of the event, standing there, confetti coming down. Oh, beautiful. Obviously, I'm not condoning what Chris done. What Chris done is horrible as fuck, and it's just horrendous to think about. But the guy, as an in-ring performer, was amazing, and that WrestleMania 20 moment is just, to me, is up there as one of the most memorable moments ever at WrestleMania. Okay, guys, and we have come to my numero uno WrestleMania moment, and it's from WrestleMania 30, and it's the end of WrestleMania where Daniel Bryan is there celebrating winning the WWE title and standing there just yes, yes, yes. The purple, the yellow confetti coming down, and ironically, it's going to be held in New Orleans where this WrestleMania is going to be held. And it was one of the most magic moments I have witnessed live watching on the WWE network, and it was unbelievable. And that was my top 15 WrestleMania moments, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the like button. Please leave a comment and subscribe. I'm the Adam Foley. You catch me on Twitter at AdamFoley88 and on Instagram at AxelF88. Guys, don't forget, I'm going to try and bring you more content in the coming weeks. Please stay with me. I appreciate it. And thank you very much.